Hello, welcome everybody to the Battle Pirates Crib. I guess we're going to walk through the Inquisition, the Battle Pirates next week, and whatever else comes along the way. Links in the right hand side in case you want to join the show. And was that UKB opening a beer?
That was me opening a Coke.
Okay, I was making sure. It's way too early for KB to be opening a beer. So, how's everybody doing? Lady Cat?
Hello, I'm good. Always good.
And Kenny?
Still here.
All right, Magic Mike?
Yep, rocking and rolling.
How's the soap?
Smiling.
Okay, so smiling. So all right, and KB.
Yep. Good morning, all.
Good morning. And all right, well let's go to BP next week. I think it'll give you some answer some questions that we had on Wednesday's show.
What slide you put it on?
I think the next one. All right. I guess the big news that's coming out of here is we are going to be getting a rules of engagement post, which I think is Land's next update, and that we're getting armors in the FM for the next skirmish raid cycle. So nothing you need to grab now. I mean, to implement, but good idea to grab it. And everything else as expected. VXP weekend, yada yada yada, and HTML5 survey. It's a short one, not as long as the previous surveys. So, thoughts, anybody?
Well, they posted a HTML survey at the top of the game when I signed on tonight. I clicked on it and it said survey not found.
It's working now.
Yeah, you got to do it
Okay.
a couple times.
Okay, didn't know.
It is currently working, and I guess let's move ahead to the.
It replaces your game screen though, so if you want to do
Yeah, I found that out too.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Yeah, the Mutineer skirmish hall, and Derpy's not here. Even though I think, I don't know, there's something I wanted you to demo, even though it's instant repair, but we'll see how we get it demoed. Derpy on the side chat. How's everybody doing in the Inquisition?
Who wants to go first?
Everybody wants.
I got what I want, and if I can get enough more points, then I'll get other stuff. But I think I'm having driving problems, so anywhere from an hour and 15 minutes to 3 hours damage. So I'm just slow repairing. Taking my time. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Something.
Oh, well, it doesn't seem to be consistent to me. The times vary from target to target.
So you're not the only one.
No,
Or I'm not the only one.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Well, I had a 112 and I couldn't believe I took 3 hours and some odd minutes damage. And then the next time I went in, it was like an hour and 18 minutes. And I don't know what I did different. So I must have got too close to something for too long, obviously.
Well, I think it's the little drones that
Those things hurt.
seem to be a little bit random.
They hurt, or I'm seeing things.
I'm having the opposite experience.
Really?
I'm getting very consistent damage. I'm only doing the 110 and the 112, but it's between like 48 and 55 minutes of damage on each target. I'm not sure why you're seeing the wild swings.
I bet it's just the way I'm driving, to be honest. I mean, I watched you, I think, last night a little bit.
Gotta watch those short range turrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, short range turrets, or not killing things fast enough. I've run into the problem personally where because the range is so short, I'm actually a lot of times I'm like, whoa, that's my countermeasure range, because the range, that's what I'm used to the range being at, and it's like way shorter than my measure range, and I'm like, it only happens for like a split second, but instinctually that's where I go as far as that sort of range, not the minuscule range that we have on these ships.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but something.
Okay. Yeah, program my. Yeah, I've noticed that as well, Al. I think it's related to the herky-jerky nature associated with the frenzy that's spawned from your flagship, where you're speeding up, you're slowing down at any point in time, and it's difficult to maintain the proper distance from a ship at any point, because you never know what speed you're going at. And I'm not really a big fan of the mechanic, and I think it caused some of the issues that we saw earlier on in the raid, where things weren't stacking because all of a sudden these ships are now at a different speed, and they're all. It may appear that they're being controlled individually. I mean, as a group, but they're actually being controlled individually. So boom, 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 they all get the speed bonus, and just slightly different times, and it's causing some issues.
That makes sense.
And not to butt in, I'm having a lot of click troubles too. The response is not there. You click and want to go somewhere, you just got to keep pounding the damn mouse key.
Yeah,
I had a lot
the
of
same issues too.
I had that same problem with HTML. I switched to HTML because it wasn't stacking in Flash, and I had the hardest time controlling my fleet.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like switching between driving automatic and power steering in a way. It's like my ship's going off, and I was driving Punishers, and they're like all over the place. I couldn't control them well. I just really struggled. Plus, there was a lot of lag and just a lot of HTML issues. Fortunately, I switched back to Flash. It got much better.
Yeah, this is not a first for me. I have this problem a lot, but
I haven't had this problem before.
Yeah, well, normally the click problem was the top of the screen, but I'm having it all over the screen this time around. So
that's like the dead spots you're talking about, right, KB?
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about just making the darn thing
I'm
respond.
talking in general now.
I went back to Flash for that reason, but I'm still having to click on this, to get to where I want to go. And
Yeah, it was the
I
same
have
with me.
errant clicks. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, it's been frustrating.
I'm basically having the same range of performance that Hefe is. Go 54 to 58 minutes. So
My build is-
I don't know why. I've never understood this game is so unpredictable person to person.
Yeah.
It must really be sensitive to something like network latency or something.
Yeah. I think I have one more countermeasure than you guys got, but otherwise the build is pretty much the same, and it's got to be driver error. I'll accept that. It's my fault, but I don't know what to change. So I'll have to watch some videos, I guess.
Well, it's not going to matter, because by the next raid, you'll be at X1 and you'll have drones, and it'll be entirely different.
Yeah.
And that's I'm feeling the frustration now because of that. Now that I've had time to reflect on it and I've seen how people are doing with drones, I'm quite jealous. I wish I had the money. I don't. So I'm not going to coin. I can't coin it. But I'm feeling a little I'm not very happy that the whole game is going to change next raid, because I will be at X1 by then, and I won't have had a chance to try the drones. Other people will, that will have experience that I won't. I don't know. It's just frustrating. I don't like how they changed that mechanic didn't tell us about it, didn't allow us to plan for it. I mean, I had remote raider crews that I threw out because it wasn't going to need them, and now maybe I could have hung on to them and used them. So my strategy is different, or would have been different had I known those drones were coming. That's all.
Yeah, and there are some quite. It appears to be. I don't know what the actual investment is for players, but yeah, the raid is quite easy if you're at X1, especially if you throw on a remote raiders crew, which changes the aura cap on the drones significantly. So and it also seems to delete the fact that once they go outside of a certain range, they'll die. But they don't do that if you have the remote raiders crew on it.
I think it's the extra damage that damage protection that the crew provides, so they don't start decaying straight away.
So the remote raiders is plus 30% combat speed. Max is 8. What's the max number of drones? Is it 8? 5?
Yep.
Yeah. But what is the damage protection? Is there something I'm missing or I forgot?
There was something extra on the drones that I thought was probably why they're lasting longer.
So we see people that have drones and are using that crew have such a big advantage over those of us that don't. It's going to cause resentment for people like me.
Well, I don't have resentment.
You don't care. I care.
I mean, because it's not, the raid is not, unless you're running for the top of the leaderboard, the raid is not
It's
a one-on-one type of competition. I mean, you're just trying to get the points, and you don't really need that many points.
No,
if you're somewhat caught up in the raid. So it's...
Yeah, here it is. It provides 50% all drone defenses.
Oh, okay.
So I reckon that's why they're not decaying quite as fast as what they do normally.
so
they got double the defense basically.
And how much you want to bet Kix takes away that crew, so you won't get them for the future, or does something?
Yeah, it's a 50% drone spawn rate, 50% drone combat speed, and 50% all drone defenses, as well as a 30% ship combat speed. So it's a fair buff to everything.
Oh yeah, especially the drones. How many drones you can? Because if you watch some of the videos, you'll see people. It appears to be like 40 drones out there.
Yeah, I was just about to put a ticket in on someone. I happened to watch him, and I saw there was basically, I reckon, about 12 drones active at the one time.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, there's something wrong going here. And then I happened to look up the top and actually see that he had the crew on. Because I know the drones weren't working like that for me.
Mm-hmm. Mitchell, I don't think this raid has been tuned for the drones. I guess they're happy that people have them from a certain perspective, but yeah, I think it's more tuned to U3, not X1, because as you see, people are just making a mockery out of it with X1 at this point in time.
So does that mean they'll tune the next one to the drones? Because there were, once upon a time, they had told us that these upgrades would help a little bit. But to me, this is a game changer. It's a game changer.
I think it's more the crew that's doing the damage than the upgrade side of things.
Well, you got to have the upgrade to even have the drones.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
what I'm saying is it's more the crew that's providing the huge benefit rather than
Yeah, which is
just
why
the
they'll
drones.
probably either nerf the crew or take it so that, or make it like a bullseye brigade and you'll never roll another one.
Well, except for early on, before people figured out the crew thing, you would see people on Discord and elsewhere was like, "Oh, I can auto this target for basically either instant repair or instant repair in the base." But now, if you run the crew, you don't take any damage. The drones go out and kill everything, and you just sit there. So it's a little bit, yeah. I don't think they planned for this. It's not really.
Yeah, they didn't. And those of us that don't have them and can't do that, might be feeling a little bitterness.
Yeah.
You know, I know it doesn't matter about the points. It's not a huge point stake for a lot of us. We don't have to get a zillion points. And yeah, we'll need something to do with our shipyards next month. I get all that,
Yeah.
but it just doesn't seem right. I mean, not to have such a game changer.
Yeah.
Just doesn't make. I mean, talk about a power creep and an uneven playing field.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I don't know. TSM, I'm sure, has drones out there. I guess he's happy with it.
I've seen it and it looks wonderful. I'm jealous, TSM, if you're out there.
Yes. But for the rest of us, because I think it's a relatively small population that has the X1. There have been deals for the U3, which were much more reasonable.
Yeah, I bought that one. I'm at U3 now. Waiting for the one to go to X1 for the same price.
Yeah, normally they're not going to release X1 for a little bit of time.
Yeah, by then I'll put it on myself, so I won't be spending the money then.
Yeah.
I
think Vincent said, basically what I've told you. So.
I can't see what Vincent said. I just see it.
Oh, it's a big game changer, but these people have had to spend a lot of coin to get 4 ships.
That's true. I mean, they're getting something for their money for sure.
Yeah. And it makes sense. It
works out. If I had it, I'd do it.
Mm-hmm. But I think you still have the ability to get the same prizes that you actually need without doing that.
It's just going to take me the weekend is all. But I'll get it.
It's a 6-day raid. And it's like there's not really that much in there to get. So, but one of the things for I'm not sure when you'll be ready, Kenny, but one of the things I did want to look at was the well, actually, let's take a step forward to slide 18. You could jump ahead to there. All right, this is the Atlas carrier. It has long-range penetrative missile that are moderately counterable and close-range corrosive scatter guns. It's not short range. It's not very short range, but it's close range. I did a little experimentation prior to the show in the 112, trying to isolate out the Atlas carrier, and I wasn't necessarily happy with what I saw. Because what I saw was I was taking, even without being able to fire at the Atlas carrier, I didn't even fire at it because I was trying to tease the damage out. I was taking 3 times corrosive damage, then penetrative damage, only engaging the Atlas carrier and never actually getting close enough to fire. So I don't know if Kenny, are you there?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. You want to screen share?
Yeah.
And hopefully this works out. I only did this demo once, so all right. You need to share a screen before we can.
Yeah,
highlight.
I am taking care of it slowly. Too many. I have too many windows open.
Alrighty, there we go.
Okay. Whoops.
I just tried it as well, so I can put the thing up.
Let me try again here. Okay. Full screen. Is it working now?
Yep, we're good.
Okay. So
You got to get up in that right-hand corner real quick, though, because it's going to chase you.
Oh, you did what my little
I
demo?
did. Yeah, I did the same thing.
Okay, and
15%
you're
corrosive and 3% penetrative. All I did was get it to trigger and went up in the corner. But you're going to show.
which target do you want me to hit?
the 112 and hit it from about 1:30 to 2 o'clock. Further down. A little bit further down.
It's like 12:05.
There we go. That feels good.
That's the right spot.
Yeah. Okay, so the whole idea here is that once you go in, stop your breathing. Oh my goodness! Oh my god!
I killed that pretty quick, didn't I?
Yeah.
Sword-owing a target.
Yeah. I guess they're listening.
That's funny. I wish they got killed.
Unless you want to see it done, I do have the battle report on my screen.
Okay. You got a screen share for me to show that.
Yeah, but he's going to another one. You can actually.
I know, but I can pop either way.
Your call.
Well, keep it there. Well, I don't know. Well, okay.
I'm going to.
I'm just hoping he pulls it off. Yeah. Just so people understand what's going on. So, okay, basically, you want to
just trigger one of the
yeah,
and then hide.
Yeah. Wake it up.
But get up there quick because it's going to chase you all the way up.
Okay, well, is he firing at you? I can't really tell on your screen.
He tried.
Did he fire at you?
He missed, but he fired.
The drones are going to cause a problem there.
Yeah, because higher. I'm sorry, I had you too low. Because
I thought you had me in the right spot. Jeez.
Well, the drones didn't launch for me, so for some reason the drones were launching for you. Which right. The drones keep on
I have drones coming from everywhere. I've got two of them.
Well, why are the drones?
Because he came in sort of parallel with the big bugger, so he triggered that straight away, Nelly.
All right. Okay. And the drones keep on coming.
Yeah. Once they start, you can't stop them.
Okay.
I better go.
Unless you kill the mothership.
All right. I guess this isn't going to work then.
Go to Ben's screen where he has what you expected from damage.
All right. This is what I expected, but I didn't expect the PT boats to keep on coming.
You didn't expect the Inquisition.
Yes. But just and maybe you can do this afterwards, and because I think Kenny's going to be dealing with this for several minutes. you didn't interact with the target. In my instance, you'd show 13% taken, and from corrosive, and 3%, yeah, on penetrative. It's a lot of.
I
It's
can see
sort
if
of
the flag's
surprising.
green.
Yeah.
Have you seen enough on this? I can close up the report.
Yeah, and then you can show us where we're.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think it's right there.
yeah. If you want to try and do it again,
I will. I entered a little bit off on the first try.
mhm.
Okay, let me see if is it any better, a bigger screen.
Yeah, that works better.
Okay, all right,
Good.
Going in. A lot of pressure here.
Yeah, you figured it out. So.
Yeah, but that's when nobody was watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. It seemed to launch from the same spot, but yeah, just close enough to wake it up. There we go. So at this point, you see that he didn't get within close range.
No, well, it started firing on the countermeasure range.
Yes, but as far as the corrosive is not supposed to happen until close range. It's supposed to be penetrative from there, and that's what I'm trying to demonstrate. There we go. Wow, just in time. And 10, okay. 10 and 4?
5.
Okay. But as you notice, even though it's only supposed to be penetrative damage at that range, we're seeing a lot of corrosive damage. So that's the point I wanted to get out there. So it was very clean the way you did that. So I'm not sure why things have changed. It could be that both of them are outside of your range, and maybe you got closer to the close range scattergun. I'm not certain, but just to be aware, everybody, that that is something to be aware of as far as, because I started looking this after I'm like, why am I taking all this corrosive damage? I'm not getting hit by the turrets. I'm not getting hit by the little PT boats that much. I'm not running over ships. I'm staying out of range. It's the Atlas carriers that are doing that. So yeah, close range is either that or the penetrative missiles are not just penetrative; they are penetrative and corrosive. That's one of two choices here. So.
That'd be kind of a dirty trick.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it has it, but it called it close range. So it's
But it means anybody that decided they were going to drive really well and put 3 penetrative on are going to get screwed.
It also means there's a ton of unavoidable damage. Because you can put evade and you can put countermeasures on and an additional missile armor. But if you have something that's dealing splash damage, it's pretty unavoidable. That's why I feel really consistent in my damage numbers. And I'm like, I'm sort of losing, what's the word? I'm losing the joy in trying to get the damage points down without. It seems like the only way to get the damage down is to upgrade your ships. It's not really a build issue. It's not really a driving issue. It's it's get the drones out there to take care of this for you.
Yep.
Oh no, you pushed the button again.
Yeah, I'll go back in my corner.
So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the variation in damage is all caused by not taking out the drone chip. I just took a lot more because of that experiment.
yeah,
I took 45 minutes more sitting around fighting drones for no reason.
yeah.
The drones really, really outrange badly.
And they hurt.
Yeah, they're long range, or not long range, as he's joking, short range. The
Yeah,
short range
it's
is
short
longer than
range,
our
too.
short range, but they hurt, as you said. It's good to know. We know we have to take out the drone chip as soon as possible. Then I thought it was going to be. I thought it was
More
going
about
to
the
be
Atlas.
Yes.
Next one I do, that's going to be the priority. Take out the drone chip first, or as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's not really the point I was trying to get across, but okay. More the point I was trying to get across is the fact that the Atlas, because I don't know how much damage the drones are doing, and if you keep on moving, are you taking less damage? Yeah, but more what I was trying to get across was the Atlas was providing different damage than
Damage them.
you might expect.
Yeah.
All right, and we've just gotten the.
I kind of rewound to his point, which is where the variation's coming from. You're right. The consistent damage, the 54 minutes, is coming from that, but the hour and a half or 2 hours comes from not dealing with those properly, I think.
Yeah, and that's where I was coming from too. I wasn't
Yeah.
debating what you were saying. I was off on a different tangent.
Okay, all good. Alrighty, and in a second, we'll see if it's readable. We've gotten the post from next week on slide 5.
Slide 5. That was slide 5.
I think you need to refresh then. The new slide 5. Alrighty. This is the rules of engagement that we were expecting. I think. No, we were expecting it this week, but it's supposed to be implemented next week. Some old stuff. Tier 8 and 9 conquerors will not. Well, I think it was just Tier 9 conquerors.
Yeah, there goes the howlers.
Will not be allowed in defense fleets, and Tier 9 defenders will not be allowed to attack bases. Well, did any of the Tier 9 ones move?
So,
Oh, okay, well, it's I guess people have found a use for them, but yeah, since they don't move, that's interesting. Victory for an attacker is determined by whether the attacker managed to destroy all key buildings, outpost, warehouse, radio tower, Great Hall. I know Ben's out there not happy with what they did because there's no chance right now to upgrade your radio tower or Great Hall. I think those were pretty quick upgrades when those things happened. And yeah, it's this is instead of the 25, 50%, 75%, it's killing all these buildings. The next step is, a lot of this is old, and I'm not sure how much everybody knows. If somebody attacks your base and doesn't kill all those buildings, your fleet reverts. Your base reverts to what it was before. So it basically means there's no prepping. Blue bubbles are only gained if your base is defeated. Red bubbles from bounty are now 24/7. Okay, so it means that somebody can't try to. This one would be interesting. I'm not sure if people. I don't know. I need to think about this red bubble thing. Red bubbles from bounty. From bounty.
Yeah, that's the number of attacks. So if they have a go at you and fail, they can probably have another couple of goes. But after that,
but what happens if you drop your bubble? Is that what that means? Red bubbles are from bounty are now 24/7.
The red bubbles are the number of times that you actually flatten someone.
So if you hit me 3 times,
I understand red bubbles, but what I'm saying is, what I'm reading here is red bubbles means like if somebody hits you 3 times or whatever, you get a red bubble. They can't hit you again, but you can still drop your bubble.
Oh yeah.
And this has gone from bounty to every day, all the time.
Yeah, I think it's just to prevent someone farming a person, or or keep trying until they beat you.
well, that's okay. Their alliance friends will do it if they can.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Stormcatcher, how are you doing?
Hector, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
It is so good to hear your voice.
Thank you.
Glad
Hey,
you're back.
I'm glad to be back. I want to go back to the raid for a minute.
Okay.
I think what it is, a lot of people having problems. They ain't got their fleets upgraded. Was when the Zealots came out, they had no survival. So we're trying to hit these targets with the survival that we just putting on the fleet, not with the extra survival that like all the other raid fleets and that came out with. I think that might be causing some of the problems with those of us that hasn't got anything upgraded. Because isn't it you too? They've got more survival, and for us it may be sitting at either U0 or U1. We don't have that extra survival on our fleet, and that might be causing problems.
Yeah, I can see that being part of the issue, because you do get additional survival through that. You also get additional survival from the auras. Yeah, I mean, people are, Lady Cat's jealous of people's drones. And
I want a pet drone.
yeah, and I'm not, and I'm unhappy with the fact that it appears that there's a minimum damage requirement, no matter, your use of evade or driving or countermeasures or how you build your ship. You're still going to take this minimum amount unless you upgrade to a certain level. And that part, I don't.
Well, U3 gives 6,400 survival, and then plus 50%, and then X1 gives another 12,800 plus 200%. So all that survival is building up that those of us don't have.
So the upgrades really matter, and they didn't put enough upgrade tokens in the raid to make you even want to fight for those extra points. If they had put enough upgrade tokens in the raid, people might have fought harder to get there.
Yeah, but they also had the TLC out, but a lot of us couldn't run the TLC because our Pegasus, with the mixture of the CICs, might have been causing some problems in that TLC, but also we didn't have the Zealot fleet built in order to go in and get those build tokens and upgrade tokens.
Yeah,
So
that was the hard TLC with
So
just
I-
Pegasus.
So I do believe with some of us that without the upgrades, it's causing us a problem.
So you're really struggling, which means you probably won't have yours at X1 by next raid. And if they tune the next month's targets to people that have the drone fleets, then you're really in trouble.
I won't. Right now, as far as I know, I've got all mine. Maybe U1, but for a month and without the upgrade tokens or anything like that, no, I will not be at X1. So
it could be an easy raid for some people next month, or it's going to be even worse.
well,
for a lot of people.
even the raid after that, if I don't have the top fleet built, the A targets are going to be Z-lots, and I'm going to be all the way down hitting B and C targets.
Yeah, that's really going to push you back.
So I think, hopefully next raid fleet comes out that there is some extra survivability already built in, so we do have a fighting chance.
It's a really good point. I hope they're listening.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Continue.
I think Hefe took this moment to probably go get a beer. Am I wrong? Or is it just me and you, Stormcatcher?
I guess.
Who else is here?
I'm losing my ass on the 110
Why?
because I ain't driving right, I think.
What's your upgrade level?
Most of them are U2. I don't think I got them all at U2. I just finished it, so I can check.
Well, the way I'm running the raid right now is I will when my zealots
Same shit.
repair, I'll go hit one of the targets, get my 2 to 3 hours damage, put it in repair. Take my punishers, going out and hitting the X target, and then those will have to sit and wait until my zealots are repaired, and I put them in repair. And yes, I'm hitting the B and C targets, but with the B target, I'm only hitting the 60 with my Pegasus, because that's the target where you sit in the corner,
Right.
take the fleet out, and then you can auto the target. And the C targets, I am getting the free map repairs. Yes, I am really struggling compared to any other raid. I'm sitting about 20 million points. But right now, with the million points that Kixeye give us, I'm only sitting at 5+ million right now.
Wow.
This is not a raid that I'm enjoying, but I am fighting to get what I'm needing. Because I would like to have the heavy turrets to help protect my base.
Right. That makes it hard when that's your big push. But then you have to be able to have the fleet for next month as well. Not having it the first raid is sometimes that's understandable as long as you can have it by the second raid. But it sounds like you're not even going to be able to do that unless they have a way for you to get those upgrade tokens throughout the month.
Well, the only thing I can hope is the TLC comes back out again, then I'd be able to run the TLC. If not, I don't know. I just really don't know. But I keep fighting along and getting what I can.
Well, that's all we can do sometimes.
Leonard Skinner, what are you autoing for 45 minutes damage? I mean, that could depend on your build. I have gotten down to like 43 minutes of damage, especially on the 112. I find it to be a more interesting target. It takes more time, but the 110, I'm not a big fan of. Okay, the 110. Okay. Are you going with max damage, or are you going with evade and countermeasures? So we'll wait to hear back from him.
I have a comment on the PvP post. The one thing that reading this that really concerns me, because a lot of this I knew was coming, but the one where that says they're tweaking some turrets whose debuffs were causing problems, bugs, or performance issues.
Yeah, that's been around for a while too.
But what are they going to tweak? Because I have all of those. Well, I don't have a Wendigo, but I have a Cannibal Wendigo. I have a Cryo Adder. Might have a Glacial. What are they going to tweak?
I'm
That is unsaid.
assuming what they're going to get rid of is they're going to lower the reduction in combat speed that these do, because with the current or the upcoming meta, a lot of players I think are going to go for a timeout base, and these all are slowing down ships.
That's why we're going for the timeout base. These are the turrets we're using. Some of us are trying to do that now, slow them down a little bit.
Okay.
So if they're going to tweak that, I'd like to know ahead of time so I can start figuring out what to choose instead. So I hope those details come quickly.
Yeah. Because what happened was when they did the refactor, the PvE refactor, they left some of these out of there, especially the glacial. Still kept the original stats, but things like the portal gate that slows you down and whatnot, those got massive reductions, a third to a quarter of their original stats. So I would expect something like that. They would divide those. They would divide those combat speed reductions probably by a quarter. Would be my guess.
The
kick is gonna be the last dot point, tweaking the stats of number of hulls and turrets.
Yeah, what are they? There's going to be some tweaking going on, which typically means something's being nerfed. Not that they're buffing anything.
Certainly your base weapons, by the looks of that.
So
they're going to buff some of the hulls. So that means not only are you probably looking at warhounds getting in, and it could be trenches as well.
So are they going to give us tokens to fix things that we've had, and then they're going to take it away? I mean, it sounds like we got a lot of changes to make besides layouts. I mean, and we don't even know what those changes are yet.
Yeah, well, it's going to be more the performance of your base weapons, one would suspect. You know, there's not going to be anything else that you can really do. It's just shuffle what you've got.
Which the good news is we're getting this next week, right? During VXP weekend. So we'll have some time before Bounty to sort of figure some things out, but that's still not a lot of time to rework your entire base. So I hope they keep that in mind too while they're doing this.
Okay.
Well, it's probably going to be the same. Initially, people are just going to walk through you until you start to figure out what you need to do to stop them.
Yep. No,
And they'll be doing it to a lot of people because they won't have to pay for repairs. You know, right now I feel good when I can get somebody. I may get flattened, but they don't have more than a hair or two left on their fleet. So at least I felt like I was making them coin their repairs, and I won't be doing that anymore.
Are
So
you making fun of balding pirates?
The attacker's still probably gonna. The attacker's still probably gonna take damage, aren't they?
if they,
It's only the base that instant repairs afterwards, as far as I understand it. So if you get hit and they don't flatten you, well, your base repairs, but I don't think their fleet does.
free repair on successful base defense. Well, yeah, it doesn't say it about the attacker, but it did at one point, didn't it?
No.
No, I don't
No,
think so.
no.
Okay.
Because otherwise they'd get no money out of it. But if everyone manages to build a
Great.
base that no
Yeah,
one can get in,
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna hit your base, and then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I failed, so it doesn't cost. I'm fully repaired. That's not gonna happen.
All right.
that's why they got the 3 or 4 hit limit on it.
So
So they can't keep trying to get in.
right. Okay.
Yeah, which is also on the other side. Like, let's say you're doing a time limited campaign, and you have somebody that hits you more than 3 or 4. Well, even hitting you 3 times is an issue, right? Unless you're willing to repair on the water, that somebody's keep on hitting you while you're trying to finish the campaign. Because I've had that happen where people peek and then they hit my base, and then that's fucking annoying.
It's annoying to get hit during a campaign anyway, or anytime the PvP players make us PvE players going their docks. So, yeah, that's annoying to some of us. I mean, I know it's the game, but still.
Yeah.
Well, you know how we usually got our, a lot of people's got their docks sitting outside the base. I think a lot of people's going to say, okay, I can't get into the base and all that. I'll hit their dock. There's probably going to be a lot of people's going to be pulling their dock in.
Yeah, well, and a lot of people are going to be pulling their warehouses in, and that's. I've been playing this game for I think like 10 years, and I've always kept my warehouses on the inside, just because I always thought that was part of the game. And that part sort of cheers me up. On the radio tower and the hall is, I don't know about that, but yeah, I've always kept my warehouses on the inside and protected those as, just outside of my outposts. But yeah.
Well, I know somebody said that they're going to make their island is going to be protecting the radio tower, and that's it.
Well, I do hope that they make the radio tower a quicker repair.
The
Because
radio tower is instant repair at this point. You're thinking of the.
I'm thinking of the launch
launch
pad.
pad.
I'm thinking of launch pad. I hope they make the launch pad a quicker repair.
All the phallic stuff just looks the same to you, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, okay.
Same one, they all look like.
Yeah, okay. All right. Oh, yeah, it's all the same.
But, yeah, okay, the launch pad, I do hope they fix that so that it repairs quicker, because with PvE, sometimes that does come in handy. And not being able to use it for hours on hours on end is frustrating.
Yeah, I think that's in the works, and that's
Good.
Yeah, well, the dock's not going to be an issue either. You're either flat or you're not. So if you're not flat, your dock's repaired automatically.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
It's not one of the protected buildings. So, and if you get flattened, well, it's the normal thing. No matter where your dock was, it's gone.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, because as KB said, if you're either way, you could put your dock out wherever you want.
That's true.
Yeah, but there are some people that hit me and they just get the OP and then boom, they're done. And others go out of their way to get all those little outbuildings that I put out there.
Yeah.
So
I used to have the dock way out at the like 1 o'clock position or something, and hopes that they'd flatten the thing and just at least leave the dock. No, can't do that.
So here's a question.
Back in. Go.
If they're going to be taking away the bubble, how are they going to calculate the, in bounty, you can get somebody to hit 25% of your base and you get 400 defense points. So how are they going to calculate that during bounty?
It's a good question. How I don't know. As far as, I mean, every fail, I don't know. Or that could be something that's going away. Because I expect a lot of these changes to have a huge ramifications as associated with bounty. So yeah, I
Well,
don't
it's
know.
gonna
Because
possibly affect the kicks targets too.
yeah,
You know,
that's gonna be
Like
okay.
the current thing is now you can muck around with them and retreat and come back in, but if it's a one hit thing, well, that's going to affect a lot of people's bounty. One would expect if you only got the one chance of getting in.
I know quite a few people that hasn't joined bounty and all that and hasn't got the newer hulls. All they have is the dreadnoughts, and they supposed to be taking away the they're supposed to be nerfing those on the I guess the defense on those or some way isn't that being said somewhere?
The evade, I think, was one of the things that they were looking at reducing.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of players that, if all they can get their fleets, they don't want to get in bounty because they don't want their base hit. But maybe with these new rules, I don't know. They might start joining bounty, but then again, they might.
Well, probably not. If you haven't played bounty before, I don't think you're gonna want to play it after these changes. I think you'll play it even less. They're making it. I mean, I'm sure the PvP players like this. They're the ones, I guess, asking for all this, but PvE players are gonna struggle, and they'll struggle even more after this.
Lady Cat, you want to hit refresh?
Which slide?
Same slide.
Oh, what?
So yeah, instead of getting one, the game was shut down for a half hour today. So seems like some people got more than 1 million points. So 5 million points for
Everybody, who
I
got?
don't know why it's a one-time courtesy. It's not really like we're asking for it.
I
but,
wondered why I got 2 million.
Who got more? Why? How? What's going on?
I got 2 million. I have no idea why.
So now you're going to get 5 million more.
So
No, probably
if
3
someone
million.
I
gets
think you're gonna round it out to 5 million.
if someone gets more than 5 million this time, does that mean they'll have another crack at and give us 10 million?
Yeah, that would be great. Let them give me another 7 million.
Why don't they give us upgrade tokens instead? So we can all have X1.
It appears also that League was scared of you. I fear just that. Oh well, that Lady Cat. Okay, so yeah, whatever.
Well,
Hear
I
me
didn't get
go.
5 million. I just refreshed and I haven't got the 5 million yet.
Well, this is fairly fresh off the presses, so
Yeah, that's just minutes
you
ago.
give it half an hour or so, and you'll get the 5 million.
Hey, that'll help me out some. I'll be able to get one of the mongooses.
Yeah,
Heavy birds.
yeah, that'll help a lot of players out. So, Yeah, I hope they increase. I mean, if they're listening, I hope they increase upgrade tokens. Let us get at least one little pet drone.
Okay. So, all right. Been going for an hour. Anything that we missed or should be talking about?
I think we covered it pretty much.
Okay.
Hey, I got a question.
Sure.
Has anybody that's on that corrosive battery 2 on their fleet and seen any difference?
I didn't have corrosive battery at all. I left mine off, knowing it was coming, so I hit Punisher targets mostly. So I can't compare it.
Mike, you put a couple on. You haven't seen a difference, right?
You're talking about the
Corrosive battery too.
well, yeah. I put 2 on, maybe 3. Hold on, I think 2.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I haven't seen any real difference, to be honest.
Yeah, the difference should be because it's a 10% increase in corrosive damage and a 15% increase in building damage, and so it should be,
It's not noticeable. I mean, when I'm doing my ships, I repair them one at a time, obviously. And I set a timer for the 5-minute countdown, and it's usually always within a minute of each other, whether they have it or not.
But did your total damage go down?
I did see the total damage go down, but not by a huge amount.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a huge amount.
I'm
So it
getting
went down by minutes.
By
got
six,
about a minute 15 on the 110.
6 to 8 minutes is what it shaved off mine.
Okay.
So if ain't really a noticeable difference, I can probably knock that off my Git list.
I would still keep it on your Git list, but
Yeah.
But at the end of it, maybe.
well, what's at the beginning of your Git list?
He wants a turrets for his base.
Okay. All right.
Well, the turrets and from the heavy turrets from my base and the all the upgrade tokens and the 2-day structure build tokens.
You were all fighting for time. More than anything, we're fighting for the time.
Yep.
Do you have to leave again?
Don't know. I'm trying to check for how much those turrets are.
The heavy turrets are 5 million apiece.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay, I got a late start, and I'm only at 9 million. That's a long haul.
Somebody,
And
Somebody-
I have nothing available.
somebody put it in their base already and didn't seem to think it mattered much for some reason.
Well, I mean, if I wanted to use my grocery money for battle pirates, I could do that.
But
Well,
it doesn't seem to be a big game changer either.
Okay.
Well,
it
none
might.
of their latest heavy turrets have been, game changers. They've
This
made
one,
a little bit of
Don't they
difference,
always
but
look?
not a lot.
They always look like it on paper, though. They look like they're
until
going
they
to kick butt,
go
and then
in
they
your
don't.
back.
Then they don't touch the warhounds, and I don't get it.
Well, maybe they're not game changers right now, but because they can come in and prep, but maybe when everything else goes into effect, people will be redoing their bases and that, and then they might be a game changer.
Not
That's
when
just
they're
it.
going to buff the attack fleets as well.
Oh, yeah. Well,
That's just it. You don't know what's going to be a game changer and what isn't, so you got to get it all just in case. That's sort of how we feel. At least that's how I feel. Because I don't know if it's going to matter. I better get it.
Oh well.
It's going to take a while to work things out.
Yeah, it's an interesting week next week. Have y'all worked on your base? Are you ready?
My base. Excuse me. My base is the way I switched it to when I joined the alliance I'm in right now, and with everything that's been going on in that with me, nope.
Yeah, now it's a good week while you're repairing to start thinking about new base layouts and how you're going to keep people from destroying those key targets.
Well, the one thing that has come fairly good out of everything that's going on right now is while I'm running the raid, I've also been um, refitting my second riot fleet to like my first one. So I'll have 2 riot fleets for pillage.
Well, that's good. And I bet you can get a lot of this in pillage.
Probably so.
They might even put those corrosive batteries in pillage next time. You never know. I wish we did know. But
I don't know if they will. I think that some of the stuff that before came out in the raid, it never came out in pillage because the raid's where they don't want to keep it at.
well, that's the case for the first raid, maybe, but this will be the last raid. There's only 2.
Hmm.
It's hard to say. Hefe might know historically what they've done, but he's not here to tell us.
Not here to say what. No, I'm just it's open mic.
Oh, you are. Okay, historically, if Stormkeeper did not get Stormcatcher did not get the corrosive battery in the raid, do you think there's a chance they'll be in pillage?
Corrosive battery 2, I
Yeah.
would. Yeah, I would assume so. But the issue would be at that point in time is how are you going to fit it onto your fleet at that point? Because that's the reason pillage is so pillage is right before the raid, so they're forcing you to do a lot of things right before the raid. So it's not it's the timing, because if you don't have it for the second raid in the cycle, what are you going to do with it, right?
Yeah.
So it's good to at least get some of them now. Not necessarily all of them, but get some of them now so you're not forced at the last minute to, use everything to get to that point. Yeah, that's more what I would,
Well,
because the positioning of that positioning of pillage is quite strategic on their side.
well, for right now, all I'm just thinking about the upgrades and all that because after the raid's over, I'm gonna start upgrading, and that's how I'm gonna be till the next raid. I'm just gonna be running upgrades. I am not going to worry about any refits for right now.
So the good thing about that is you'll have less to do in the FF by a little tiny amount.
Yep.
Won't need those tokens.
Yeah, but you'll need probably to start looking at the following raid fleet too.
Well, you're going to need I said you'll have a little bit less to do. The next raid, or the next FM, will have the armors for the next fleet. The Mutineer.
Yep. The Muti is what we're going to call it. So, is there much else we should talk about in the live show? We've gone over an hour, so I'm going to put the link out there on the in case anybody would like to join the show in the last waning minutes or join us for the after show. So it's out there. But is there anything else we Kenny, are you going to hit something else again?
I'll do anything you think is a good idea.
Well,
Okay, then.
Maybe we should leave you two alone in the after show.
mhm. So
I'm sure he has some good advice or points me in the right direction.
yeah,
But I was assuming, never mind.
I think we're good. I think we
Gross.
should call it a show.
Never assume.
The Mutineer, yeah, it's a skirmish hall. We don't know that much about it besides the fact that we're going to get new armor for it. But I don't have any insights as far as I'm guessing at this point. It's not going to be a sub. I think once they got rid of Robot, they got rid of somebody that's willing to deal with the sub, and the subs became less and less subs. With the the sub never surfaces, yada yada yada. Subs weren't subs anymore, and it's a different designer that's going to be doing this one, from what I can tell, than did this raid. A little, designer that has a little bit more gray in his hair relative to being part of battle parts. So I'll be interested to see what happens.
I love subs.
Okay.
Now they don't surface, or they're just different. But they were fun for a while.
Yeah, subs were a really cool part of the game for a while. I just don't know how, I mean, a lot of things have gotten changed. Like this raid is a perfect example. I mean, what's going on with the fact that, the Halo equalizing damage? Some people are big fans of that. The fact that it's equalizing damage. I don't have to pay attention to like one hole versus the other. I just build them all the same and yada, yada, yada. But I'm not a huge fan of that whole thing as far as, there's no reason to build a tank or whatnot because we're going to even the damage out for you. So, because there's a lot of players that, and I think a lot of them are on this group where they want to hit the targets again and again, and they want to have be able to hit as many as possible. I'm just not one of them. I would rather build a fleet that makes sense. That's like, okay, well, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's following me. So,
You want it to be more sport.
Yeah, it's sort of. I'm not happy with these targets personally. I don't like all of the.
Well, you don't get to influence the damage that much.
Yeah.
Because you're basically going to take the same damage across everything, no matter what you do.
Yeah, it dumbs down how you build it. It dumbs down how you're going to build your ships, and that building my ships is part of what I like to do. It's sort of like I'm going to build it this way, I'm going to drive it that way, but it seems like a lot of that's been taken away.
It seems like everybody for the first time is building exactly the same ship, pretty much.
Yeah,
it's the first time I've ever seen all of us building it almost exactly the same way. It's a bad sign.
Yeah, it's like they might as well give it to us pre-built.
And then also the driving differences. Obviously, you can drive badly, but nothing's varying here. The build's not changing, and how you drive isn't changing. There's no strategy on either side, which is a double whammy. Now you can't just drive into them, but
Sorry, I'm late.
Hey, Derpy.
Another wet T-shirt contest? Jesus Christ! You've
I
been.
was really busy, you know. There were a lot of contestants. They needed.
I really think you need to start putting these videos on your YouTube channel. I mean, I would, I watch your normal channel, but I'm like, if you're judging wet T-shirt contest, personally, I might tune in to see if a couple more of those are going on, but it doesn't appear, you have done a good job as far as, the 110, the 112, all the targets. You've done all the targets from top end to middle end targets. But nothing going on with the wet T-shirt contest. So
Apparently people aren't really watching my ones right now. My numbers are down considerably from what they are. So I guess I do need to bring that up.
Yeah. They're expecting that, I guess. At this point in time, I'm sorry if I made people,
Sorry.
go to your channel expecting, you're like, oh yeah, A plus, B plus, D minus in the wet T-shirt contest, and I'm sorry, Go ahead. You've been listening to the show, it appears. Any thoughts?
I've been listening to most of it, probably at least the first 45 minutes or so. I'm seeing now that we're getting 5 million raid points, which is that's a whole turret for free.
Yeah.
Just free giveaways. I could kind of find it funny that they're screwing up something that would hurt them by giving out more players. So they don't always fix the mess up when it hurts them and helps us, if that makes sense. So.
Okay.
Let's see. What else you talked about? The Atlas carrier and how it's doing some corrosive damage to you.
It's doing more
pretty painful. It's pretty painful damage that you can't avoid.
Yeah. I don't like that part. The unavoidable damage associated with the Atlas carrier it ruins the fun for me in the targets, because I like to hit the target, and then just whittle down the damage as it goes. And it appears that I'm sort of stuck at, because I got like 43 minutes and, like the 112, I'm getting like, mid 40s, but am I going to get better? On both targets, I can get mid 40s if I do well, but it's not really going lower. Unless I get to like, X1, whatnot. It removes a bit of what's the word I want to use here? It removes the fun of, because I like to get everything down to like the minimum damage. And I do a pretty good job with it every raid besides this one, because I don't see how to get any lower. I mean, I could put some splash dispersion on there, but I don't think we have the tools to really to lower it that much without spending for the upgrades.
Just a curiosity question. In one of them, you take more corrosive than penetration damage, correct? Or is it basically the same in both?
As far as total damage, I think they're pretty close.
Well, the reason why I'm saying that is I was just wondering if you take more penetrative damage in one target and more corrosive damage in the other target.
I mean, by the time the end of the raid goes, I may have a better. No, it's sort of. I mean, my hope was the corrosive damage was unavoidable. It's not unavoidable.
Well, the penetrative damage is unavoidable with the halos. There's no counters in that for those. So you're definitely going to be taking damage from those one way or the other.
Well, and you're also going to be taking, damage from the Atlas, the corrosive damage from there. So it's not I don't know. I don't find it a fun target to be, because I like to pretty much, like I said before, I like to just break it down and then get it done in such a way where I'm doing it for, by the end of it, I've figured it out. But I don't see figuring this out based on some of the experimentation I've done. I just don't see it. And that's the fun in the game for me, as far as just getting it down to pretty much minimal damage, or, and that's not, the Atlas is the one that's causing the biggest issue with me. I thought it was going to be the Halo, but it's the Atlas.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to kite those.
No, it's impossible to kite them. That's what we did earlier. It's impossible to kite them. It's not hard. It's impossible. I mean, that's what Magic Mike showed you. He wasn't even firing at them, and he was taking all this corrosive damage. And
what about if you put on, if you have a really fast ship, you put on 4 D5 EV armors, put on a speed crew, get your frenzy up before you engage those and try to outrun the damage?
I don't know. I'm going to keep on experimenting with that, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that.
But still, I mean, okay, getting the evade up. The evade isn't the problem. It's the corrosive, from what I can see. That's the unavoidable, and it's in the Atlas carriers. I mean, unless you see it somewhere else, the Atlas carriers are the ones that I'm the least happy with. I mean, the Halos and the Atlas, those two I'm not
At
happy.
least the Halos miss every now and then with your evade. But
Yeah.
So basically, we probably need to have 3 corrosive armors and 1 penetrative armor.
I'm 2 and 2 at this point, and I don't know what the solution. I'm not going to keep on. I don't have the coin or whatnot, so now I'm on monetized show. So I'm not even, paying attention. I'm not doing something where I'm going to keep on switching my armors. But I'm 2 and 2 across my whole fleet.
That's the way I am.
Yeah.
I just suggest that wherever people are, they leave it as that. Just leave it wherever you are. Don't. Probably not worth the change.
Well, I was just saying, thinking, these targets sooner or later are going to be our TLC targets. So, when they run the TLC that's got these targets in them, be prepared to really struggle getting 7 targets in an hour.
Yeah, and and I expect a lot of people are going to be a world hurt with, unless they get the drones, because the drones are a huge, game changer in this whole thing. So, Derpy, have you tried the remote raiders on your ship yet?
I have not done this. I've not done that yet. I don't know if I will. I'll probably just go watch TSM's video and see how well it works.
Yeah, there's some videos out there, but
Although I guess I would like to know how much it does with just one ship up to X1, which is what I have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's
the example I saw, he had all 4, but it certainly made a hell of a difference when you got something like 12 drones swimming around at the same time. And they stay alive for a lot longer than the ordinary drones do too. But the issue with that is getting the remote raiders crew. Like when you've only got the the 400,000 uranium, well, it's going to take a while to try and roll one, isn't it?
Well, whoever gets those crews, that's won't be one of those that they ain't going to drop. They'll constantly, for right now, they'll coin it back every time. Because even though you get one, if you can't keep rolling them, that one's going to keep getting coined back.
Well, that's an elite crew in any case, so it's going to cost you probably 60 odd coins.
Yeah, never mind.
To have another crack at it, and it's a shorter one too. It's only a 40-minute crew.
Yeah.
So unlike the Grease Monkey and Demo Squad, where at least you get an hour and a half out of them.
Yeah.
I mean, the raid could have been worse. I mean, the start was very choppy, but that was fixed within a couple of hours. Definitely could have been worse, and I don't need a lot of points, even if I'm getting the 3 new turrets. I think I'm done counting the 5 million points here, unless I want to go get like 2 or 3 upgrade tokens for my ships. But we still have 4 or 5 days. So I'm definitely not going to be spending any more coins.
Derpy, you said your numbers were down on the people watching your videos, correct?
Yeah, just a little bit. I don't always keep track of them that much, but I can tell they're down a small amount. Actually, more than a small amount.
That's probably due to the fact of people quitting.
Yeah, I thought it was just people aren't playing the raid that much because of the Rocket Star and how they don't like it that much.
Yeah, I think that's more the issue. Because actually there seems to be more people playing the game at this point in time than what there has been for 12 months, I would have thought. Because my particular sector is nearly full to the brim. And you see a lot of low IDs who are asking a lot of questions about how things work and stuff like that. So you can probably expect that they're guys that have given the game away and that have come back because of the virus, basically.
I wonder how many people
Go hit one target and see what place I'm in.
Well, you can pull up the leaderboard on that one. Be able to figure that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that, and it might be worth to just to get up to say 1 million points and see how many fewer have that.
See, the thing I can't get over is people had 200 million points 4 hours into the raid. Now that's a hell of a lot of bloody blitz, and I don't know how much money you'd have to spend to get that, but that's just an insane amount of points.
Yeah. Well, right now, I pulled up the leaderboard for a minute. I am 6,283 on the global board.
And how many points do you have?
5,700.
5,700 or 5?
I mean 5,700,000. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess that people are still playing this thing, but.
Okay. Adam's asking a question. I think, Derpy, you've been doing a lot of this, and maybe we can jointly answer this. As far as the general strategy going on with these targets, The 112, which I like much more than the 110. I've I enter from 3 o'clock. I go after the Warbird carrier initially. I stay out of that range, try to get it done pretty quickly. Then I go up and then I go away from the landmasses. And the landmass, so I'm not getting fired at by other stuff. And I try and take care of the atlases. And you want to kill the atlases quickly, as we've shown you earlier. This cutting, unless you get really close to the atlases, you need to take them out because they're doing corrosive and missile damage beyond your range. So you don't want to dick around with them. You need to take them out quickly. The other thing that I do is I wait for I stay around the outside of the 112. And the other thing I do is I wait for, at the bottom, I wait for the Valkyries to get stuck. And then I just go in and kill them where the spotlights are just stuck. I just go in and kill them. You can go in and kill them when they're revolving, but you're taking more risk at that point. And then the other thing I'm doing is I'm also identify right when you get into the target, identify what is going on with the venom spitters. If there's not a venom spitter there, I go right up there, take out the titanium generator and everything around it as far as I can reach. Just so those things aren't firing at me anymore. I don't know. As far as my main tips, you got anything more, Derpy?
Not really. I mean, just keep practicing, keep hitting things. You'll get. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
My connection may be poor. I'm not sure. Okay. I was just saying, get to a point where you can do. Just keep hitting the targets. You're not going to get 45 minutes damage, half an hour damage on your first try. My first try on some of these, I got an hour and a half, 2 hours. So.
I don't know. Adam, was that... I think there were some clues in there as far as how to... I'm still not happy with it. I mean, I still think the Atlas I'm not in love with. As far as the damage it does, that's unavoidable, combined with the damage associated with the halo that's also unavoidable. So yeah, it is what it is. But it's you don't need to really get that many points. You can get the corrosive battery too. You can get some upgrade tokens, and then maybe you've done some of this other stuff in in pillage or bounty or somewhere else, because there's not a lot else you need to earn. So I don't know. I hope that was helpful. So we've been going for an hour and a half. Any more questions? Alrighty. If there's no more, I guess we'll see you all on Wednesday when we'll be talking about what FM target they got rid of and
must be nearly up to the 141.
What?
They must be nearly up to getting rid of the 141s.
Yeah. So.
Which will be a shame.
Or they finally do the 127s.
Yeah, we'll see. So, thank you all for showing up, and we'll see you all on Wednesday. And not sure how much we'll have to talk about, but yeah, I'm really selling the show at this point. But yeah, sleep well,
Who you
wash
selling
your
it to?
hands. I don't know. I'm telling them to wash their hands, though, right?
Good night, all.
Later,
Good
people.
night.
Good night.